Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dinda Surya Utami. In this video, I want to present about the return to nature or the Romanticism period in Introduction to Literature. The Romantic movement in English poetry is generally described as a return to nature, but nature for the Romantic were completely different from the notion held by Augustan or neoclassical author. The Romantic age of English literature began as a deliberate movement in 1798 with the publication of Lyrical Ballad, and it ended in 1832 with the death of Sir Walter Scott. Augustans were against indulgence in personal whims, eccentricity, and abnormality because they were unnatural. But when the Romantics sought to return to the nature, they meant that the people should return to the external world of sight and sound, as also to primitive simplicity untainted by the finger of refinement or even civilization. Thus, we may say that the slogan "Return to Nature" in relation to an important aspect of the Romantic movement in English poetry has mainly two facets. It implies something like a political and philosophical idealism, a general love of simplicity and corresponding distrust of sophistication. Return to the sight and sound of external nature, the world of the sun, star, tree, plant, flower, meadow, forest, etc. And this is some major writers of the period and their major works. They were all very famous in their time. The next is Wordsworth. The poet, according to Wordsworth, is responsible to producing poetry that deals with the nature and men who live in close proximity to the natural landscape. Throughout Wordsworth's poetry, the poet is shown to be inspired by the form of nature, which allow him to inculcate a deep understanding of the working of humanity and the universe that surround it. The next is Samuel Taylor Coleridge. According to him, poems can be divided into two groups, the demonic and the conversational. The first group is characterized by visionary memory, supernatural happening, and magic power, which are fantastic, and in some places horrible but also charming in their own way. And the second group express the poet truth in a seemingly conversation. Lyrical ballads. In lyrical ballads, Wordsworth and Coleridge set out to overturn that they considered the precise, learned, and highly sculpted form of 18th century English poetry and bring poetry within the reach of the average person by writing the verses using normal everyday language. One of the main themes of lyrical ballads is the return to the original state of nature, in which people led a poorer and more innocent existence. Wordsworth and Coleridge are the leading figure of the first phase English Romantic poetry, the vocal poetic voice of the period. And this is another eminent feature of Romantic. Maybe that's all from my explanation about the return to nature or the Romanticism period in English literature. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.